Good morning, warm greetings to our group, and welcome to another morning of Rise and Shine. I'm sure you've been following the series on the immune system of the soul and really taking a lot of benefit. I might know many of you, but for those of us who are meeting for the first time, I'm Veni, and I live in the Brahmakumari Center, in a small center in the city of Durban called Musgrave. And it's really my pleasure this morning to bring in along with me two very beautiful, precious jewels within our Brahmakumaris family. I wouldn't say that they're just part of the Musgrave family because Sister Saras and Veni, who are you going to meet now, are well known and well loved and an integral part of the Durban family in general, as well as the South African and the world family of the Brahmakumaris. So I'd like to invite the both of our dear sisters to share their video and unmute and say hello to you. There we are. Good morning. Okay, so as you can see, Sister Saras and Veni are mother and daughter, and so they're living with each other, so they were able to actually log on and come together. Is it possible for you to push your chairs closer to each other?
Is that always move your chair a little bit? Wait, not stand.
I'm giving Sister Saras exercise early in the morning. Okay, so good morning, sisters, and thank you so much for joining us. And I think our group are going to take immense pleasure in listening to you and in hearing your story. So let's just start by you sharing, Sister Saras, you can, and I'm sure a little bit of Veni's story is going to flow over in what you're saying. Tell us how old you are and for how long you've been with the Brahmakumaris.
Okay, I am 85 years. I'm going to be 86 this year, and I'm with the Brahmakumaris for 36 years.
Oh, fantastic! So that means that you came into the path of meditation at the age of 50.
Yes, and when it was 1936.
Okay. Okay, what Saras is referring to is that she was born in 1936, which was actually significantly the year that the organization anyway started. Yes, so warm welcome. And I know so much about you, and it's always such a pleasure and a privilege to interact with the both of you and to spend time. So I thought that our group would really like to hear some personal stories. Firstly, I really just want to take my hat off to Sister Saras because, as you can see, she's in age elderly, but you can't see anything from that face or from that bright smile. And if you don't mind sharing with us, just on a physical level, in terms of being in the, and I want to use this term very loosely because I don't even put you in that category, but being in the elderly group, and also obviously with the age comes ailments of the body and things like that. I'd like to know your secret. How do you maintain your vitality? How do you overcome the limitations of the physical body? And when in times of illness, and you can give us details if you wish to of your more recent times of illness, what is it that you do internally to help you to sort of rise above everything?
Okay. I keep my mind busy, not busy in work all the time, but you have to do actions also. While actions are done, I remember my father all the time. Okay. While remembering my father, I take energy from him.
Okay.
Yes. You know, when you're remembering God, your father, you can pull energy from him and then you can continue with it. And when I've got 10 jobs for the day, I'll do one at a time. And every time I finish one, I'll thank him for it. And then I will also sit and remember him thank him for it, and take him with me for the second job. Every job, if I want to go to the kitchen to cook, I'll say, come, let's go and do the cooking today. And that's how I find life is so easy. The energy that you receive from the Father is different from the energy that you pick up with eating food or doing exercise or something like that. This gives you real energy. It gives you so much of enthusiasm to do things. So I keep myself.
It's always been one of your big qualities.
And I keep myself busy during the day. I do baking, I do cooking, I do gardening, and I do cleaning. I do everything like a normal person does. I haven't stopped my duty yet. I'm a full-time worker.
Full-time worker, I like that title. So I want you to share a little bit more with us about your baking and your gardening, because in the Brahmakumaris family, you are renowned for your baking and for your gardening. So please share with us.
Okay, on Saturday, I baked 6 loaves of bread. I've been baking for 36 years now.
Do you have any of those loaves still left so that we can see?
There's a sample of a bread.
Okay. I think I'm going to come and visit you soon.
No problem, no problem. You're welcome. And gardening, oh, I love my gardening. And I like to experiment when I'm doing gardening. I like to experiment when I'm doing baking. I've got plenty ginger and turmeric growing in the garden at the moment. And I'm surprised myself to see how beautifully it looks. The garden looks with the ginger and turmeric plants, all fresh, so fresh and so lovely. I must visit my garden every morning, and that is one exercise, going down 2 stairs to the garden.
2 flights of stairs, not really 2 stairs.
2 flights of stairs going down to the garden, and I do that every day.
Wow, wonderful. Sister Saras, people's concept of meditation is generally that you keep yourself away in a very quiet place. You try to make sure that there's no distractions around you. And then you keep yourself very still and try with your mind to connect and to concentrate. And I like what you're bringing up here, because what you're speaking about is really a very vibrant form of meditation, where you're actually speaking about maintaining that connection in action. So can you just share a little bit more about how you sort of broadened your experience of meditation and your concept of meditation to take it out of a sacred corner and a sacred space in your home into all of the activities of your life?
Whenever I am always been a busy person, and I always keep myself so busy. So that is one of the things that activity keeps me going. And while doing activity, I am meditating at the same time. But there was a difference when suddenly I had to go for a bypass. And that time, you haven't got your special place where you are sitting and meditating or something. Now you're in the hospital now. But now you got the Father with you. You take the Father with you to the hospital. And in hospital, you got all the time to connect with him and stay with him and have all the relationship with him and all the talks with him. And
were you not afraid at that time? Because other people lying in bed waiting for a bypass would be thinking of the fear of death and what's going to happen and all sorts of things like that.
That's one thing. The doctors were so surprised about it, because they were scared to do the op, because I was 82 that time. And then when they came and spoke to me about it, and I told them, even now, if you want to start the op, you can do it. If we can start, I can go. And you wouldn't believe it. They said they had all the patients like me, so strong and thinking, I had no fear, no fear, no fear. I walked into this theater, and I came out of the theater, no fear, and I was perfect. Even that 7 days, up to today, I don't even feel I went for a bypass. That's the feeling. That's a feeling in me. I haven't got the thought I went for a bypass. I went for a bypass in 2018 and 2020, and then in about 6 months now, I went for a breast op also for the cancer. And I'm also a sugar patient. But all these operations is not stopping me from being enthusiastic to live a life with happiness, with peace, the way you want to live your life.
That's
and with
just
God in your life,
absolutely amazing. That's
yes, and
absolutely
with God in
amazing.
your life, you got double success with God in your life. And then that's I don't put my sickness. I'm 36 for 36 years. I'm a sugar patient, but I never put that sickness of the sugar into my mind. I still on tablets, and there's no worry. It's not high. It's not low. It's just like that. All my tablets, I just give it pure feelings, good wishes to the tablets, and just take it to the body. And
Fantastic.
after I take it, I don't even have the thought I'm a sugar patient or I take tablets for all my sickness for the body, but it's not a thought that kept behind me. Then I go on moving according to the way I want to live.
That's just very, very inspiring and very encouraging for all of us, Sister Saras. Thank you. Because, in this day and age, especially with the pandemic and so many people in each home facing illness, I know you also had COVID at the beginning of last year,
Yes.
and you adopted the very same approach that you have for all of your ailments and illnesses. I think it's really wonderful for our group to hear this experience because it gives us a really very precious mind tools that we can use to face and to pass through any illness ourselves. Thank you so much. So I just want to shift over to Veni, and she's smiling so sweetly sitting there next to Sister Saras. And Veni, in her own right, she's just a very, very devoted daughter to Sister Saras and takes care of, all of her needs. But in her own right, she's a really wonderful yogi. I've got the privilege of spending a lot of time with her, and that I know, and I really value our conversations that we have. And Veni is from the working world. She has a full-time job and she's been holding this job for a long time. And I'm going to leave her to tell you a little bit more about it. But Veni, my question to you is, I want you to share with us your secrets about how you integrate your spirituality into your daily life, encompassing your duties at home as well as your work, and especially because your work is quite unique. Some of it requires remote work, some of it requires office work, and some of it requires traveling. So there's so much of variety that goes on, and I think it requires an enormous amount of flexibility internally. But you just seem to sail through everything so consistently. So I'd like for you to share with us, a lot more about this process of integration that you adopt.
Oh, Shanti. With me, I like to, yes, I do travel a lot. But I find that I know a lot of people say, oh, but you travel so much and don't you get tired? But I find that the most precious time because I either put my classes on or I put my my songs on and I'm just traveling. And I find that the best time to have my conversations with the Supreme. And so I can chat with him about anything. And I mean, sometimes it's a bit silly things too, like where the road is or the way the people on the road are, or whatever it is. But my conversation is that companionship, that intimate conversation with somebody you know very precious and very close to you. And I'm generally a person that's very lighthearted and I have a lot of kindness. So that comes through in the office as well. And so they all know when I'm around because I'm always laughing and joking and just being lighthearted with everybody.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. And in terms of your routine and timetable, I mean, we all know here at the Brahma Kumaris, our day starts quite early with the early morning meditation. And Sister Saras, I know even at the age of 85, you still, make that effort to be up and catch the power of that early morning time. And then with you, Veni, what do you do? What type of things do you do so that you can keep your energy levels up and complete your full day of a very constructive activity, even though you're following this timetable?
I found one of the practices from the meditation is to be soul conscious, which is so then if I'm conscious of myself as being a soul, then I'm separating myself from the body. I'm using the body as an instrument, but I'm not the body. So I find when I do that, it sort of gives me a lot of energy, but a lot of lightness. And the times when I do get tired, it's generally because my meditation is not as up to date, or there's health issues. But I find I can start the morning early. Normally it starts about 2:30, and or between 2:30 and 3. I can travel for the whole day and come back and still be okay till about 8 o'clock or so, 8:30. I'm still fine. But as long as I keep that balance of that meditation of being soul conscious and God conscious.
No, I think that's absolutely important. And gosh, this conversation is so interesting, but I'm just keeping my eye on the clock and I'm seeing where's the time run away to. I just want to know from the both of you, and both of you can take a few minutes to share. One of the things that really touches me and strikes me is that you are in a family of yogis, if you want to call it. And I think that's really beautiful. There are many people who are, doing meditation and are spiritual seekers, but they're possibly just one in a family that's just going about life in the normal way. And I want to know what value or what enhancement do you experience from together as a family sort of coming onto this path and encouraging each other and sustaining each other? Just describe this yogi family life to me and to our group.
I think one of the biggest things that came through, especially in the lockdown in 2020, because obviously everybody's at home and working from home, and we live in a flat, so it's a small environment. But I think the biggest thing was that whenever we were sharing the food with each other, it's like when we gave it to each other, when we shared it with each other, we looked at each other as souls and looked at each other as a child of God. And I feel that was the biggest turning point in our life. Because it made us see each other differently, not just as my mother, my sister, my nephew, stuff like that. But this we incorporated, and especially, as I said, in 2020, and I found that made a huge difference. And we live with two other people in this, two other families in this block, two other flats. And so we would also go and share with them as well, and use the same thing where we would, when we're passing the food over or taking from each other, we would share that energy of seeing each other as a soul, seeing each other as a child of God. And that has built our relationships with within the three flats, actually, not just within the home, very strongly. And I found that was a big turning point. Sometimes certain things, but it's only when you practice it that you see the results of it.
It's something really beautiful and quite divine that you're speaking of, because in a sense, what you're saying is that over and above the blood connection and the physical relationship, you are extending your vision and actually seeing this person as a soul separate to the physical relationship and as a child of God. So I suppose then there's no room for attachment when it comes to that type of practice. Do you feel that those type of practices transforms attachment into pure love?
I actually had this experience. It's a very nice experience where I even a few years back I was in India, and I was phoning every day. I was phoning home, checking how everybody was, what you were doing, and stuff. So there was still that love connection that was there. And one day somebody said something, and I realized even though I was phoning everybody, I could not place their features or place where the things were in the home. So I was like so detached from it, yet I felt very loving as on the same breath. So it was a very beautiful experience, but it was also an experience that, you know, when you say somebody to be detached, you think, okay, when detached means forget somebody. But this was different. It was detached, yet more loving, because I was still phoning them.
Fantastic. That is just so powerful. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Sorry, you can complete your sentence and then we'll unfortunately have to say goodbye. We've run out of time.
Yeah. Experience that will always be remembered.
Yeah, I'm sure, because I mean, it's so difficult to discern, and then you had that clear experience of this is love and that was attachment. So thank you so much, Sister Saras and Veni. Sister Saras, you're sitting there and you're like an empress of the world, just radiating. It's so beautiful to see you. Thank you. And I wish we could actually have this conversation longer, but we're going to have to say goodbye now. You wanted to say something?
For inviting us.
Okay, sure. And I see Sister Aruna, who's going to be presenting the immunity of the soul, has come on. You want to quickly say hello to her and then we'll log off.
Hello, and a very good morning. Om Shanti.
Hello, Aruna.
I always remember Saras, the dancing empress, so carefree, you know, so full of enthusiasm and intoxication, really a yogi that is so full of life, that never a dull moment when you are with her. So thank you so much for that, Sister Devendri.
Okay, my pleasure.
Wonderful to see you, Aruna.
Yes. Thank you, Sister Veni. Beautiful, really sharing about the detachment. I think it's so important that we realize that to be detached is not to be not loving, and you know, that you still have your heart full with lots of love, but no feeling that you are, you know, you are caught by your emotions and feelings. So thank you so much for being with us, and wonderful example of the family as well.
Thank you. And we're looking forward to your presentation, Sister Aruna. So we'll log off now, or we'll stop our videos at least.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll chat later. Thank you. Bye.